Wandami Bante, and good evening to everyone. Good morning to everyone in the Western Hemisphere. Welcome to the lessons on 7 stages of purification, part 4. I am Brother Layu Chung. I'm the meeting co-host who will be helping Bante and everyone in today's session. May we invite Bante to start the teaching, please. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
Okay, so we will pay homage to the Buddha by reciting Namo Tassa 3 times. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Namo Tassa Bhagavato Arahato Sama Sambuddhassa. Last week, we have already talked about the first part of Buddha's quality up to Sukhato. So today, we have to start with Loka Vidu. In Loka Vidu, we have 3 different Loka. The first one is Satta Loka, the living worlds. All living beings are called Loka. We individually, our aggregate, our body is also a Loka. We also have Okasa Loka. These are world systems, existence, or abodes. All these are also called Loka. Now we also have Sankhara Loka, the formation Loka. So the Buddha could know all these 3 types of Loka. It will be very wide. So the Buddha also had special quality or special knowledge to know people's minds, people's conditions. Especially, the Buddha also know the living being's condition. This is called Loka Vidu. So today we will talk about only Satta Loka, the living beings, and the nature of living beings. So the Buddha could know living beings with the following conditions. This one is asaya, inclination. So we have different types of asaya according to Buddha's teaching. The first thing we have to know is the wrong view is also called asaya. We may have annihilation view or eternal view. Whatever view we hold, it can be considered as asaya. Could you hear? If we have wrong view, that means if we have very strong wrong view or persistent wrong view, then our mind will incline to sensual pleasure. Then it can be one of the obstacles. Another one is a wholesome asaya. There's especially insight knowledges. So we may have the vipassana knowledge, insight knowledges. We also have like a path knowledges. So these 2 are also called asaya. The Buddha also could know the asayas of living beings. So, in brief, if we have wrong asaya of wrong view, our mind will incline to sensual pleasure more. If our minds incline to insight knowledge or path knowledge, our mind will incline to renunciation. The Buddha could know with good asaya or bad asaya. The Buddha also could know living beings with good asayas or wrong asayas. That is why this is also called Loka Vidu. And the next one is Anusaya. Now we have many different types of Anusaya. We also have different degrees of anusaya. For example, like a sensual pleasure. This is also one of the anusaya. We also like a hatred, anger, or grudge. This is also anusaya. Here we can say tendency or latent tendency. It will remain in our minds until we cannot uproot with path knowledge. The Buddha also could know people with latent tendency, which one is stronger in the living beings, which one is weak in the living beings, and so forth. So there will be 7 asaya we have already studied in the chapter of Chitasika, the mental fetter. Kamaraganusaya, latent tendency of sensual desire or sensual attachment. Then Bhavaraganussaya, the latent tendency of attachment to life. Then we also have like Patikanussaya, the latent tendency of hatred or anger or grudge. We also have like Vichikichanusaya, the latent tendency of doubt or skepticism. Now we also have like wrong view, latent tendency, this we got Titanusaya. Now we also have like a Mananusaya, the latent tendency of conceit or pride. Then finally we have Avichanusaya, latent tendency of ignorance. The Buddha also could know living beings with one of these latent tendency. Which ones are stronger, which ones are weaker, how many of them are strong, how many of them are weak in the living beings. This is called anusaya. Then we also have another one, charita, this habit. Actually, we can also translate as a temperament. We may have good habits, we may have bad habits. All these are called charita. So if we have like a good actions, bodily good actions, bhava good actions, mental good actions, we have good charita, good habits. If we have bad habits, bodily, and mentally, it will be bad habits. We can also say like a ducharita. Moreover, we have already learned 6 types of charita, the temperament. The Buddha also could know living beings' temperament. I have already talked about it in my previous talk. The Buddha delivered discourses or give instructions according to the listener's temperament. So charita is also one of the Buddha's knowledge. The Buddha could know people's charita, the habits or the temperament. Now we have the next one, a dimoti. We can also say intention in English. Sometimes we also use the Pali word achasaya. Similarly, the same meaning, intention. So when we have good intention, we can communicate with people with good intention. We can also associate with people with good intention. If we have bad intention, we can associate or communicate with bad people with bad intention. So we can also say like achasaya dhantu, this is also a kind of element. That means when we have the same attitudes, the same mind, we can communicate or we can associate. We can be convenient. So if we don't have good intentions or good like a good habit or good tendency, we cannot communicate or we cannot associate well. Anyway, the main thing is the Buddha could know people with good intentions or with bad intention. Then we have the next one, aparajaka, less defilements in the Western eyes. Apami, a letter, rajami, dust, akami, eyes. So what little dust in the eyes? So if somebody throw the sands or dust into our eyes, then we cannot see clearly. If our eyes are full of dust, we cannot see. We have to open, so we have to rinse, we have to clean our eyes, rinse with water. Then if we can clean well, we can see the vision clearly. Similarly, now when we have very much defilements in our eyes, we cannot see the truth. So now here the Buddha could know people with less defilements or more defilements. The Buddha also could know he has very strong defilements like greed, he has very strong hatred, he has very strong delusions, he has very strong pride, he has very strong skepticism, doubt, something like that. So this is also the Buddha's nature. The Buddha could know people's defilements, which defilements are weak, which defilements are stronger. So similar to that, we also have like a upper Rajaka, we also have Maharajaka, opposite term in Pali. Maharajaka means very big or very much or more defilements in the Western eyes. Now we also have another one, Tikhiniriya, keen faculties or sharp faculties. So we have 5 faculties, 5 controlling faculties. There are some people, they have very strong controlling faculties. For example, like Sādhu, confidence. Confidence is very strong. Then they also have like very strong wisdom faculties. They can improve because both of controlling faculties are good for them. They can balance 2 controlling faculties, wisdom faculties and Sādhu, faith or confident faculties. Similarly, we also have Viriya, the effort, or concentration, the samadhi. If we can balance these 2, we can also improve our meditation. The Buddha also could know these 2 controlling faculties. Then the Buddha also could know the living beings who can balance these two controlling faculties. So as we have known that mindfulness is essential. So the mindfulness controlling faculties will be essential everywhere. It will be the key factor to control or to balance all the controlling faculties. Then we also have the contrary to that, we also have Mudindriya, very weak controlling faculties. So the Buddha also could know living beings with keen controlling faculties and weak controlling faculties. You can also say like a dull controlling faculties. So in brief, we can understand the Buddha could know living beings with their respective controlling faculties, strong or weak. Then the next one is swakara. So if we say swakara, that means like behavior, good behavior, swakara, so good behavior. When we talk about good behavior, it also comes from controlling faculties. So we have good controlling faculties, we may have good behavior, good manners. If we have very weak controlling faculties, then we may not have good behavior. So one more thing here. If we have very strong controlling faculties, swakara also means our mind will incline to inner suffering, to make inner suffering. This is also good mind. So mentally, our mind will incline to realizations of nirvana, or maybe to be free from suffering, the run of samsara. All these things come from controlling faculties. So that means when we have controlling faculties, we can have good behaviors. We also have bad behaviors. We also have inclination to realize nirvana or to make inner suffering. This is also called swakara. Contrary to it, we also have dvakara, bad behavior. Then the next one, it is Suvinyapaya. Easy to understand the Dhamma. So, if we have parami, a perfection, if our parami is mature enough, we can easily understand the truth. We can easily understand the Dhamma. This is called Suvinyapaya. Contrary to it, we also have Duvinyapaya, difficult to understand the Dhamma. There are some people, they have very much difficulty to understand Dhamma. Even to understand one thing, it will take a very long time. Sometimes they hold wrong view, they cannot overcome it, they cannot give up it, they cannot improve their mind anymore. In brief, the Buddha could know people who could understand the Dhamma easily, who could not understand the Dhamma easily. The last one is Baba, or we also have another one, Ababa, contrary to it. So here, Baba means capability to achievement. So that means those who can achieve or who can take jhanas, path and fruition knowledge. So the Buddha also could know those who cannot attain path and fruition knowledge. The Buddha also could know those who have parami to know the Dhamma, who has ability to know the Dhamma. So these are the meaning of Satta Loka. We also say Loka Vidu. When we talk about Loka Vidus, the Buddha, we also have to know the Buddha's quality, asaya, the living beings with inclination, that means towards wrong view or knowledge. Then anusaya, we have many different types of anusaya, which ones are weak and strong. Then charita, or habits or temperaments. There also could know people's habits, living beings' habits and temperaments. A devotee intention, good intention or bad intention. Then aparajaka, less defilements in the Western eyes or more defilements in the Western eyes. Tikindriya, king faculties, contrary to it, there will be dull faculties or weak controlling faculties. Swakara, good behaviors, or drakara, bad behaviors, according to their controlling faculties. Suvinyapaya and Duvinyapaya, easy to understand the Dhamma or difficult to understand the Dhamma. Then Baba and Ababa, capability of achievement or incapability of achievement. The Buddha can know the living beings' conditions like that. That's why it is called Loka Vidu. It will be very wise to explain about Loka Vidu. There are many things we understand in it. Because we have to talk about the work systems, we also have to talk about the informations, or about many things about Nama, Rupas, and everything, right? All these are also called Loka. Now we have to go next one, Anuttara Purisa Dhammasarati. Now, this is also one of the qualities. Actually, sometimes there are some people, they also categorize in the maybe they also divide into two. Anuttara is one quality, Dhammasarati, Buddhisa Dhammasarati is another quality. They also divide like that. But in reality, this is only one quality. But here we have the first thing is Anuttara, incomparable. Yes, the Buddha has very strong sila. We also say ati sila, superior sila or supreme sila, supreme morality. It's incomparable. Nobody can follow the Buddha footsteps about practicing morality. Similarly, concentration, supreme concentration, ati stita. Wisdom, supreme wisdom. This is adipanya. The vimutti, liberations or deliverance. So all these things can be considered as Anuttara here. So this is the first thing we have to know. Another thing is Vimutti Jnana Darsana, supreme knowledge and visions of deliverance. The Buddha has all these qualities. This is called Anuttara. Now we also have to understand another one, Buddhanussati, leader of men to be tamed. So having all these supreme qualities, the Buddha can lead people or living beings, or the Buddha also can tame living beings. Here, although we say, we use here the Pali term Purisa, the man, but actually it also covers all the divine beings. So, what does it mean tame? Of course, we have to tame our minds. We also have to tame our body. We have to tame our speech. So there are many people, they are very bad, like Angulimala, for example. He was going to kill his mother. The Buddha interfered. Finally, he could ordain as a bhikkhu. He could attain arhatship. Although such bad people try to disturb the Buddha, the Buddha can tame them to be polite, wise. Then there are wise people. The Buddha can tame them to be wiser. For example, like Buddhanussati, Buddha Mahamoggallana. After listening a short discourse from Buddhanussati, Buddha attained Sotapanna. After that, he had to practice by himself. The Buddha gave instruction. At the end of Dhyana Sutta, he attained arhatship. Sotapanna is a good people already. Sorry. Sotapanna is a good. Also, his replies are good people already, good men already. The Buddha instructs him to be better, to be wiser, to be greater person. He could attain arhatship. This is, we have to understand Buddhanussati, leader of the man to be tamed. So if we combine together, the Buddha is an incomparable leader of man to be tamed. So nobody can excel the Buddha. Nobody is better than the Buddha in taming living beings. This is the meaning of Anuttara Buddhisa Dhammasarati. Actually, there are many stories we can study in Dhammavara or Charaka stories. Like, for example, Alavaka, one of the Yakha, very bad. The Buddha tamed him. Finally, he could attain Sotapanna. Then there are like many other people, many other bad people. Like even Ajata Sadhu is very bad. The Buddha tamed him, given long instructions. Sajjaka Paribhajaka, the Buddha tamed him to be better person, like that. All these things can be considered as Anuttara Buddhisa Dhammasarati. So in brief, the Buddha will tame bad person to be good person, a good person to be better person, a better person to be the best person in the world. The Buddha tame living beings like that. So this is the meaning of Anuttara Buddhisa Dhammasarati. Now we have the next one, Sattha Devamanusana. So we can understand Sattha as teacher. Deva is divine beings, Manusa is a human being. So is the teacher of men and devas. the Buddha could teach any living beings, human beings, or it can be divine beings, even Brahmas. So here, although we just use the Pali term devas, it also covers the Brahma, higher living beings. So the Buddha is a teacher of men and devas. Then what he teach? Here we say, who teaches the ultimate goal. So that means almost all of us have ultimate goal to attain Nibbana. The Buddha also teaches the ultimate goal with many different steps, many different level of trainings. Then we have the next one. The Buddha is who teaches the benefits here and hereafter. So many of Buddhist people misunderstand that the Buddha just talk about Nibbana after death, to attain Nibbana after death. But in reality, the Buddha also teach many different things to community. For example, when we study Karaniya Metta Sutta, we can also learn many different things to train ourselves for the benefit of this life. Not only that, we can also find in many other sutras. For example, like how do we cook friends, right? We also can learn how to be good friends. If we want to have long-time relationship, long-time friendship, what will be our responsibilities, duties? What kind of things should we fulfill, accomplish? So Buddha also instructed that kind of things to have better community in this very life. When we study Singalavada Sutta or Singala Sutta in Digha Nikaya, the Buddha also explains the duties of wife and husband, the duties of parents and children, the duties of teacher and students. The Buddha also explained the duty of friends, the duty of employers and employees, the duties of devotees and monks. The Buddha also instructs the duty of leaders. So all these things can be considered as the benefits for this very life. The Buddha also instructs that kind of things to community, to have better community, to have better relationship. So this is also called Sattva Manusana. Then we also have another meaning of Sattva. Sattva means the merchant or the trader. So ancient time, when they are going to trade or going to do some like a marketing, they have to go by full account. There must be a leader in their group. The leader has a responsibility to take care of all the people. He must choose safe and secure paths, maybe secure roads to travel. And he also has a responsibility to take care of their properties, also their animals, and everything they bring in their journey. The Buddha is like a leader in among the trading groups. So on the way, if they encounter many difficulties, for example, like if there's no water, like a Sahara desert, then they have to find the water for them to save their life. You may have read many stories about it. Then if there's some like a wild beast, like a tiger or lion or that kind of animals just stuck on the way, he have to solve this problem. If there's like orcas or ogress, like a yaka on the way, then he must solve this problem. So any kind of living being deprive their life on the way, he has to take care of everything like that. So the Buddha is also leader, like in the marketing group or in trader group. So that means the leader of who gets the beings across the wilderness of birth. So that means our life is a very long journey. We have rivers, very beginning of a journey. Then on the way, we have to be sick. We are growing older and older, aging. Then finally we will die. This is the first journey. When we restart the next life, reverse. We will restart the next journey. Then we have sickness, aging, death. We make endless one journey, then we have to restart the next journey. So the Buddha leads his disciple to get across the wilderness of rebirth, sickness, aging, death. That's why it's also called Sattha Deva Manusana, the leader of all living beings, to cross the wilderness of rivers and so forth. So this is the meaning of Sattha Deva Manusana. Then we have the next one, Buddha. That one is a very common Buddhist term. I think everybody knows the meaning of Buddha. Right? The word Buddha means one who knows the Four Noble Truths by himself. Similar thing have explained Samma Sambuddha, self-enlightened one. So here, when we talk about Buddha, that means the one who knows the Four Noble Truths. That means he himself knows it. Again, we have another one who lets the living beings know the Four Noble Truths. So that means the Buddha he himself knows the Four Noble Truths, but he also explains other living beings to know the Four Noble Truths. It will be different from Pācceka Buddha disciple. So Pācceka Buddha also could explain, but very limited. The Buddha disciple also could explain the Four Noble Truths, but very limited. The Buddha could explain in any situations, for any living beings. Maybe because of their parami, they may not know, but the Buddha have ability to explain it. Okay, so briefly, we can understand this true quality. Mostly we can find this true quality, true meaning of Buddha in many texts. So the first one is the one who knows the Four Noble Truths by himself. Second meaning is the one who lets the living beings know the Four Noble Truths. Then we have the next one, awakened one. So Buddha also like awakening. If we are going to talk about awakening, we must talk about sleeping also. So in the dark room, we sleep. Similarly, at night we may sleep, right? In the dark, or at night we will sleep. Then we also have a metaphorically explaining. Ignorance is like a darkness, like a night. When we have ignorance, we are at night. We have darkness. If we wish to sleep, we can sleep. If we don't wish to sleep, also we can wake up. It depends on our choice. Now we have to explain why, what is it really meaning of sleeping, according to Buddha's teaching. Sleeping means, the five sensual pleasure is also called sleeping. So that means when we have sensual pleasure, we also have a lot of sensual pleasure. We also have attachment to sensual pleasure. Now we spend our time with sensual pleasure. This is like sleeping. We cannot get enlightened. We cannot be awakened. So this is the first things we have to know about sleeping. We have another one. The one is our hobby or habit. So if we have hobby, if we have to do according to our hobby, we are very happy. We enjoy it. For example, like if we have hobby of hunting, hunting is pleasurable. If our hobby is fishing, this is also pleasurable. Similarly, football, playing football, playing basketball, playing cane ball. Now in modern social community, we have like a playing game. Similarly, we also like exercising, workouts, we have swimming, many other hobbies like reading, writing, singing, dancing. We may have many different types of hobbies. So we follow our hobbies and we just do as we like. Now we are happy. It's pleasurable good time for us. This is also a kind of sleeping. So if we are sleeping like that, we cannot wake up. That means we cannot attain Nibbana. Surely there are many stories about that one. Okay, I remember now. There's one lady. She was listening to a discourse delivered by a bhikkhu. The bhikkhu was talking about Nirvana. And the lady asks, Bhante, is there any markets in the Nirvana? In Nirvana? The Bhante said, no, there's no market, no Namarupas there. Then she replied, I don't wish to go to Nirvana if there's no markets there. So she liked marketing too much. This is her favorite things. So, okay, the main thing is, as long as we are enjoying sensual pleasure, we are enjoying our hobbies, as we have hobbies, then that means we cannot wake up, we cannot be awakened. So the Buddha wake up. He wake up as the first person. All Arhat also wake up, but they are only follower. They are not pioneer, not the leader. The Buddha is the pioneer, the principal, leader of Buddhism. So the Buddha could wake up by eradicating all types of defilements, including habits and hobby. In the Arahant, we have already talked about it. The Buddha can eradicate the defilements together with his habit and hobby. So the Buddha will not enjoy sensual pleasure. The Buddha will not have any hobby or any bad habit or any habitual actions. Then he will be the first person he was the first person who awake in this world, who is sleeping now. So we can also understand majority of people are sleeping. Only a few people are awakened. So in brief, here in Buddha, we have three definitions. The first two are very common. We can find in many Pali texts. The one who knows the Four Noble Truths by himself, and the one who lets the living beings knowing, who know the Four Noble Truths. The last one, the awakened one, is only sometime we can find in the Pali Canon. Anyway, this is also one of the Buddha's quality. Then we have the last quality, Bhagawa. So we have two words here, Bhaka and Avantu. If we translate simply, Bhaka means glory or wholesome or good deeds. Wa or Vantu, this means heaven or possession. What I possess, good habits, good deeds, or glory, or blessing. That's what we call blessed. Sometimes we translate as a blessed one. Anyway, down here we have to explain the meaning of Bhagawa. So the Bhagawa has 6 types. So actually there are many other meanings, but here I will explain only 6 types of Bhagawa. Whenever we talk about Bhagawa, we have to remember these 6. But in reality, there are many other definitions of Bhagawa. In the Buddha's quality, Bhagawa is very wide. It will explain many different ways of grammatical analyzing. Okay, now we have to talk about 6 types of Bhagawa. The first one is who has supreme lordship over his mind. In Pali, we call it Isriya. Unfortunately, I didn't mention the one in Pali here. So what does it mean, supreme lordship over his mind? That means he could train his mind very well. So how can we know that he could train his mind very well? He has many different types of psychic power. So he can disguise himself as small as sesame seeds, or smaller than a particles. He can describe himself like that. He can also create himself very big, bigger than universe. So that means he could train his mind. When our mind became very flexible and very fine and very strong concentrations, well concentrated, very bright, it's possible to create like that. We can be very small, we can create very big. So you can imagine the Buddha could know everything, whatever thing he wish. If he wish, nobody can block it. Then this is the train his mind is supreme. He has supreme lordship over his mind. This is also one of the quality of Bhagawa. In Pali, Isriya. The next one, who has achieved all kinds of mundane and supramundane knowledges. Here we just call in Pali Dhamma. Supreme Dhamma or mundane Dhamma. So as we all have known that the Buddha has already attained all types of mundane knowledges, like jhana attainments. He has attained all types of jhanas. He also has attained all types of psychic powers, all types of analytical knowledges. This is called Dhamma, also Bhagawa. About supreme knowledges, supramundane knowledges, like path knowledge, fruition knowledge, also understand Nibbana, revealed knowledge. All these things can be considered as Bhagawa here. So in brief, the Buddha has already achieved all types of knowledges, whether it's mundane or supramundane. This is also called Bhagawa. Then the next one is the one who exceedingly pure fame, separating through the three worlds. If the three worlds mean human worlds, Kama Loka, then we also like human worlds and divine worlds. This is called Kama Loka. We can also like including hell beings. Then we also have Rupa Loka, 5 material realms, Brahma worlds, Arupa Loka, immaterial realms. So the Buddha fame, the Buddha was famous, purely famous. So that means we cannot find any faults or any mistakes of the Buddha. Actually, when we really read the Buddha's teaching, almost all his teachings are very pure, very perfect. Also, his practice is also very pure and perfect. That is why his popularity of fame is also pure. We can also say reputation. His reputation is very pure. Then the next one, we have who has the whole world brought out of what he wants. So that means all the words, all his disciples, divine beings or human beings, will follow his desire. Although he also has psychic power, he could change the world systems. Actually, he didn't do that kind of things. Even he didn't recommend his disciple, Venerable Mahamokkallana. Okay, the main thing is, the Buddha has only good wish, then I also fulfill the Buddha's wish. Then they are doing according to Buddha's wish. Another thing is, although we cannot practice like a Buddha, we admire or we envy of the Buddha. Sometimes we wish to be like a Buddha. Okay, the main thing is, this one is a call. We also like Kama in Pali. And the next one, who has glory of all limbs. So that means the Buddha appearance is also good, also glorious, gracious. Buddha also has good looking. That's why this is also called Siddhi in Pali. So although we have many different Buddha's quality, only this one mentioned the Buddha appearance. Almost all other qualities are only ultimate reality, not the appearance, or not the shape, or not the form. This one is only shape, the form, or the appearance of the Buddha. This is also one of the quality we call Bhagga, in Pali, Siddhi. Now, the last one. Yeah, we call who has the right efforts. In Pali, we say Payadaka. So that means we have already known that the Buddha has right efforts everywhere, in any situations or any time. Whenever he speaks, then it will be knowledge associated. Whenever he acts, it will be, his action will be associated with knowledge. Whenever he thoughts, his thinking is also associated with wisdom. So the Buddha also has right effort in any situation. So his mental efforts, mental energy, his bodily effort, body energy are always right. So today we have, this is actually 6 types of bhaka. So the Buddha has all these 6 bhaka. That's what we call bhakawa. So when we are going to recollect Buddha's quality, we can choose one of them. So recollect bhakawa, the one who has supreme lordship over his mind. We can do only one thing. So we can do one by one or the 6. Okay, last week we have already talked about previous Buddha's quality. When we are going to recollect Buddha's quality, how shall we start? Actually, I have already explained last week also. Now I will repeat the same things. We can sit cross legs. One leg should be inside, one leg should be outside. Don't press 2 legs each other. Keep your head and body straight. Open your eyes. See Buddha's statues or Buddha's image. With moderate open eyes, you can see the Buddha's statues and the Buddha's picture until your mind can absorb on it. When your mind can absorb on it, you can close your eyes and visualize the Buddha statues or the picture or the image you have already seen with open eyes. Now you can try to recollect one of the Buddha's quality as you prefer. For example, now here on the slide, I'm showing the first one, the one who has supreme lordship over his mind. I mean, he has very strong psychic power, train his mind. We can recollect one quality again and again until our mind can absorb on it. We can feel peacefulness. We can understand it deeply. We can subside defiance easily. So by practicing Buddhanussati, we cannot attain jhana. But we can attain asset concentration. Now what will be the nimitta? The Buddha statues or the Buddha's image? It is the nimitta. Sometimes you may feel like you are seeing the living Buddha, or you are together with the living Buddha. If you feel like that, when recollecting Buddha's quality, or when seeing Buddha's statues or Buddha's image, when you're meditating, because this is a Patipaka nimitta. Whatever posture you see, just keep observing on the Buddha's pictures or Buddha's statues. As you see like a living Buddha, you can keep recollecting Buddha's quality. You can also enter into the asset jhana, asset concentration. So I have said many times, any kinds of jhana can be, any kind of meditation can be the foundations of vipassana. Based on Buddhanussati, we can also proceed practicing vipassana. We have to go and practice 4-element meditation in detail or in brief. Either one we like. If we can do detail method, it will be much better. Then, if we can do 4-element meditation well, descending rupas very well, we can also proceed practicing nama meditation. We can do nama rupa together. We can descend nama rupa together. They are causes. Then we can contemplate nama rupa as anicca dukkha anatta. Then we can also attain path and fruition knowledge. So in brief, Buddhanussati is also important for meditators. When we have very little confidence, or when our confidence is very weak, we can do Buddhanussati, recollection of Buddha's quality. Then we can get motivation. We can also continue practicing. So it will be very helpful for the meditators. Okay, now in my plan, I will talk about only Sapataka Kamatana, only four subjects as basics. Now Buddhanussati, then we will have Asubha, we will have Maranussati, and we have Metta, only 4. After that, I will go to the next steps, the next purification. Okay, now, as conclusion, as you have learned Buddhanussati, you can also do recollection of the Buddha. Then based on that, you can also practice Samatha Vipassana according to your conditions. As a result of it, may you all be able to realize the end of suffering, final cessation, Nibbana. Sādhu, Sādhu, Sādhu.
Thank you, Bhante. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Now the question is, if there is a donor, his intention is to donate a bridge for the village. This is the project to build a bridge. So, but after these donors have given the donation, the organizer, while he is organizing it, instead of building a bridge, he used the fund to make the road, to replace the bridge by making road, which is to replace it with a wider road by filling with soil in order to replace the bridge. So there is no more bridge, but only road. So in this case, the intentions of the donors is different from the actual project. So in this case, does the organizer need to ask forgiveness?
Okay, so what about only those who arrange? Especially the receiver has the problem, right? According to which, actually, we have to do according to donor's wish. If the donor say bridge, it must be bridge. So if there's some extra, okay, there's some extra money, the donations are more than enough, for example, right? We can inform to the donor, we can use for maybe the rope extension or something like that. So in this case, according to Winnie, it's not really very good.
So, Sarah, in this situation, does the donor need to seek forgiveness? Did she make any mistake, or does she need to ask for forgiveness for the donor?
Okay, so that means if there's a group donor, so we should inform. Also, especially from the receiver side, they must inform. It will be much better. If receiver can inform, actually receiver makes mistake. No, donor does not make mistakes, right?
The second question, Bhante explained about recollections of Buddha's quality. Buddha's quality is ultimate reality. How do we understand this further?
Actually, there are many ways to understand. Okay, for example, like a cause and effect. We also say another one. The one is like for the welfare of the Buddha himself, for the welfare of other living beings. For example, like Arahant, he indicates all the defilements. So we also have to know the defilements one by one, right? For example, Lobha is defilements. The one who can eradicate Lobha. So that we can also visualize Buddha's statues or Buddha's image. In our mind, we also have to recall it. The Buddha, Arahant, the one who eradicates the defilements, or who has already eradicated the defilements together with habits and hobbies, something like that. We can recall it. So among the defilements, we can also do he can recall it, Buddha is the one who can eradicate greed. Buddha who can eradicate greed like that. Similarly, who can eradicate hatred, who can eradicate hatred. So we can also imagine one more thing here. If there's no greed, how peaceful his mind will be. We can imagine. If there's no hatred, how peaceful his mind will be. We can imagine. We can understand a little bit deeper. So in reality, although we have 9 qualities, actually, if we multiply, it can be thousands of qualities. Now we just talk about only Arahant, right? Lobha, Dosa, Moha, Mana, many qualities. We can analyze, we can classify in many ways. So the main thing is that first we have to know all the usage. For example, like defilements. What are defilements? If we say, like a spoke of samsara, dependent origination. What's a dependent origination? If we can know everything in detail, we can understand it deeper. Okay?
Second part of the question, Sādhu. When a person practices Buddhanussati, she will take Buddha's image as an object and also taking the Buddha's quality as object. Is there any difference between the merits, the karma, by taking the two different objects? These two methods will arrive at the access concentration.
Okay. So, actually, the merits come from the mind. Right? It depends on the power of mind. For example, like if we have wise intention, the wiser our mind, then the greater the merit. Another one is like how is our efforts? If we make stronger efforts, or better efforts, or more balanced efforts, smarter efforts, it depends on our skill or efforts. There will be greater merits. So it's very clear that we can attain asset concentration easily if we can balance well. So this is the main. We can like this is our aim of practicing these methods, right? So if we can attain asset concentration, sure, this is a great merit already. Without wisdom, without knowledge, without skill, we cannot attain asset concentration. So we can say, if we can attain asset concentration in both ways, then the merit will be the same. Okay?
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Sādhu, the third question is, nowadays many people are practicing reciting Buddha, Buddha, just reciting the Buddha, Buddha. But the meaning of Buddha is very vague to them. So does this practice has any effect?
Just like just say the name of the Buddha, right?
Yes, yes. Without knowing the meaning of.
I mean, having good intention, this is also called kusala mind. Right? This is we can say kusala mind. But actually, recitation is not really good for attainment. If we have recitation mentally, right? So even in anapanasati, if we have habit of reciting, we can attain first jhana. We cannot attain second jhana because of habit. So the main thing is, if we can know the meaning, more beneficial. So whatever chanting, whatever Pali we are going to chant, if we can know the meaning, it's getting better. It's a greater merit because we have wisdom, wiser. We are a little bit wiser. So okay, the main thing is by chanting Buddha, Buddha, Buddha. This also merits, but not very great merits, like knowing the meaning and practicing recollection of the Buddha's quality. Okay?
Yes, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Vandami Sādhu, what is the fourth question is, what is the purpose of practicing
psychic power?
Is it necessary to practice psychic power in order to attain Nibbana?
Okay, so it depends on the people's situation. Okay, so that means, okay, for example, there are some people, they will practice Vipassana, but when they are going to discern cause and effect relationship, they cannot discern very well. But for example, they cannot know past causes easily. Then if they practice psychic power, they can know it easily. Okay, so that means if necessary, do it. If they can practice past and present relationship, cause and effect relationship very easily, okay, although they don't practice psychic power, they could practice Vipassana easily. Okay, so that means necessary for somebody is not that much necessary for many other people. It depends on their practice and their parami. Okay.
The second part of the question is, during this time, is it still possible to attain 6 psychic power? How do we know if we had practiced psychic power before in the past life?
So, okay, now in these current situations, I think it's possible. But actually, there are some statements in the commentary, right? Then they say, in modern, according to the limitation, the year, right? Now more than 200 years pass by, more than 2,500 years. That's why many people say, in modern society, it can be Divijapata. Divijapata means only with true psychic power. But it's still possible to attain all psychic power because, in Myanmar, from time to time, we have some, Buddha picture. Shoot by a few years ago, we have somewhere around every division, every region now. Okay, so there's a bhikkhu flying in the sky. Then somebody take picture with small telephone. They shout, "Oh, there's a flying like this." So when seeing that kind of things, I think it's possible to attain psychic power because it is very difficult to attain. Right? If somebody can attain like this in modern community, it's possible. Okay. Prabhupada past, okay. She say, how can we know if we have practiced psychic power before in this past lives, right?
Yes, Bhante.
Okay. So that means actually when we can practice psychic power practically, right? Then we can also know our past lives easily. We can also know how we practice in the past. Then another thing is, if we can practice with Vipassana also, some parts of Vipassana also can understand our Vijjasi, Jnanasi in the past. So here, Vijjasi means knowledge, Jnana means contact. I have already explained Vijjana Sampano, right? So you can review the parts. So then we can also know our Vijja and Jnana, knowledge and contact of the past. What's inside knowledge? Especially when we are going to discern past causes and present effects. Then at the time we can know it. Okay, the main thing is we can know by practicing Vipassana. Okay? Then anything?
Sadhu. Question 5. Vandami Sayadaw, after practicing Nama Rupa or Vipassana, some meditators may claim that they can read others' mind, know others' past lives, know others' future happening. Is this possible? For example, there are meditation teachers who can tell directly if the meditators have already entered jhana by just watching them.
Actually, that kind of thing is not truth. It's impossible. So by the Vipassana, we cannot read people's minds. We cannot know other people's past life or future lives. This is impossible. Now, things, if the teacher directly talk about meditators, right? They have attained jhana by watching. This is also really strange, right? This means reading other people's mind. They say they have attained jhana or something like that. That one is not important, actually. Right? This is also mostly that kind of thing are fake. They want to make for fame or for gain. If they are really practicing or real practitioners, they will not declare like that. They will not say like that also. Okay?
Sadhu.
Sayadaw, often we said God knows, in God we trust, God bless, Almighty Gods, in God's hands. Please explain how the quality of Bhagwa differ from God. Or when practice Buddha's quality, how to avoid falling into the kind of worship of the God.
Actually, we are not like only praying or worshiping, right? We just trying to recollect the quality. So the question is about Bhagavad, right?
Yes.
About Bhagavad, right? So that means, okay, so we're just trying to recollect Buddha's quality, who has supreme lordship over his mind, right? This is only recollection of quality. We cannot say we are in Buddha's hands. That means Buddha does not create us. Okay? This is different from other religion. So, okay, the main is Bhagawa. We have 6 quality. The one is Isriya. That means he has supreme lordship over his mind. This is the first thing. This is his own quality. Okay. Another one is Dhamma. He has already achieved all the mundane and supramundane Dhamma. This is also his quality. So another thing is the the karma. That means all the living beings follow his wish. We can say like that. Then Siddhi, he has like his faith is also very pure. Right? This is also his own quality. So, okay, one more thing. If we can understand the Buddha's life story or what the Buddha teaches, many of suttas, it will be easier to understand the one, especially like separating pure faith. So we may have many different types of sila. Okay, for example, practically, if we compare with many other religions, in Buddhism, Buddha will never scold anybody, right? The Buddha will never swear. We're going to find that kind of things. Then the Buddha just say good and bad. Do this, don't do that. This is praise or this is blameworthy, like that. The Buddha just says very simply, do and don't. Also, in behavior, Buddha behavior is also very polite. Speaking or action. Bodily actions or verbal actions. Mentally also very polite. We can easily understand. That's why we can say pure faith. Okay, so this is Buddha's quality. So that means it doesn't mean we are just praying or praising the Buddha. Trying to recall it to gain faith when we are practicing. So the purpose of recollection of Buddha's qualities is to gain faith in the Buddha's teaching more. Okay? If we can know other teaching of the suttas or Abhidhamma or Vinaya, we can know deeper meaning. We can understand a little bit deeper. Then we may have stronger faith in it. Okay?
Okay, Sadhu, Sadhu, Bhante. Thank you very much for your teachings today. May Bhante lead us in making aspiration and sharing of merits. And also we'd like to thank the interpreter Bhante for the translation.
Ita vadaja amehi sambadam punya sambadam sabbe deva numo dandu sabbe buddha numo dandu sabbe saddha numo dandu sabba sambati siddhiya idam me nyadinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idam me nyadinam hodu sukhita hondu nyadayo idam me nyadinam hodu Sukhita hondu nyadeo idame punyam asawakaya waham hodu idame punyam nibbanasa pachiyo hodu mama punya bagam sabasadanam bhajemi te sabe me samam punya bagam lavandu. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Bhante, and everyone for your time and participation. Till we meet on next Saturday, may all be well and happy. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.